Do you remember what RAG is? Yes, Retrieval-Augmented Generation. We talked about it in the previous segment. But just to refresh your memory, let's do a quick recap because this is where things will really start getting interesting. RAG is a powerful technique that boosts the performances of large language models. Instead of relying solely on what model remembers from training, RAG brings in external relevant data, usually retrieved from the vector database. That data gets added to the prompt and the language model uses it to generate a grounded, more accurate response. In simple terms, it's like giving your model a mini research assistant. User asks a question, model grabs related info and then gives a smarter answer. Now typically this process goes something like query comes in, it's turned into a prompt, sent to the LLM, output is generated, done. With RAG, we slot in a vector database in the middle. So now when the same query hits the vector DB first, retrieves relevant content, then the model generates a response using that extra content. It's still a one-shot flow, one pass through the model, one result. But here's the thing, what if we could make that system smarter? What if instead of retrieving and responding, the model could actually decide what to do next? Enter Agentic RAG. This is where we upgrade from just generation to reasoning and decision making. In Agentic RAG, we don't treat the LLM as a passive tool anymore. We treat it like an agent, capable of understanding intent, choosing strategies, even orchestrating which data sources to consult. Let me sketch this out for you. Say a user sends a query, but instead of one static database, we've got multiple sources. Maybe one for internal company documentation and another for general industry knowledge. Now, instead of hardwiring which database to use, the agent analyzes the query and decides, is this question about company policy? Then route it to internal docs. Is this about industry's best practices? Go to the external knowledge base. Is it something totally irrelevant like who won the World Series in 2015? The agent spots that, flags it out of scope and returns, sorry, I don't have that information. The magic here is that LLM isn't just answering, it's thinking, it's choosing, it's orchestrating the whole flow. And it can do even more than that. The agent could determine whether to respond with plain text or maybe generate a chart, maybe pull in a code snippet, maybe call a third-party service. The output adapts based on the context and not just content. Now let's talk about a little bit real-world impact. Customer support, for example. An agentic RAG system can determine whether a question relates to troubleshooting, billing, or general FAQs and fetch the right documents accordingly. In legal tech, a lawyer could ask one question about a client brief and another one about public case law. The agent routes the query appropriately without needing systems to have been separated. Another one's right? Healthcare, finance, education, you name it. Wherever there's a need to combine contextual understanding with accurate, up-to-date knowledge, Agentic RAG fits in. It's not just smarter responses, it's smarter systems. By moving beyond static flows and empowering models to act like decision makers, we're unlocking a whole new level of intelligence. So the next time you hear Agentic RAG, think that it's not just answering the question, it is understanding it. Not just using data, it's choosing the right data. And not just automation, it is intelligent orchestration. I'm Omar from Supervity, and thank you for joining me in this session to understand how Agentic RAG can transform your organization.